Good afternoon. We are betwixt and between on this 6th day of the Betfred World Championship. No, we're not floating voters. This is a politics-free zone now until 6 o'clock. We're actually finishing off our first round matches while simultaneously starting our second round matches here in Sheffield today. And if you were with us for our 1 o'clock programme earlier on, you'd have seen this first round match, which is the penultimate one to finish here this year. It's between Judd Trump, one of the real favourites for the title, and Stuart Carrington of Grimsby, who's a 24-year-old rookie here at the Crucible. Now, Judd Trump had established an 8-3 advantage, but Stuart's making a bit of a fight of this because 2 breaks of 74 and 70 means that he's still very much in this at only 3 frames behind. So we're going to get back out to the arena live now in the company of John Parrott and Willie Thorne. Hello again.
Hello again, Hazel. Good afternoon again, everybody. And match is getting very tasty now. Stuart Carrington winning 3 of the first 4 frames and playing very well indeed. He's given himself a slight chance in this match. Obviously, Judd's still strong favourite.
Yeah, it's a funny part of the match, this, isn't it? Because 8-5 I don't think is quite dangerous, but 8-6 starts to look it, doesn't it? It's a funny frame, this. It's a massive one, but Stuart would like to have broken off a bit better than that. Now, Judd's had 2 long pots like this so far. OK, with the cue ball not that far away from the board cushion, but he hasn't got close to either of them yet, so be interested to see if he knocks this one in.
Yes, it's plain ball and he goes round the back of the black without a problem, but the red that's on the extreme left of the table comes into play if he doesn't play with any side. You see that red's in play there. You've got to play that with side to get round that red.
You need to just check up on that on his practice tape, because every one of those thick, and 3 of them, all of them have been thick.
Good pot that. Obviously the black passes the red. So it's a chance to get a sizable lead in this frame. And John mentioned 8-6. You start to worry about things. But 8-5, you're not too worried. So probably a bigger frame for Judd than it is for Carrington, really. He's really fancies the job at the moment.
It's funny talking about that, isn't it? You know, people will think, what's he won about 8-5, 8-6? But just as a player, you sort of you sense these things, don't you? You can see somebody catching you.
You can feel them on your shoulder, can't you, when it takes 6? You can't at 8-5 for some reason.
No.
We've mentioned earlier in commentary, but whatever happens in this match, we're going to see an awful lot of this young man. Just think he needs to speed up a little bit, John, in his average shot time.
Yeah, probably. That might come with a little bit more confidence in playing in the bigger venues. And you know, he's trying to be. There's moments, of course, he can't make any mistakes, so he's just trying to be correct in everything he does. I don't blame him in the slightest. And of course, I'm not saying he's doing it on purpose, but he's probably not doing Judd too many favours being a little bit slow. Judd like to have an open game where it's a lot quicker, so it's probably going a little bit against Judd, but that's, you know, it's not a legitimate tactic he's using or employing, it's just the way he's playing. And from Judd's point of view, you've got to beat everyone who comes up against you, no matter how they play. Beauty of this great game.
And potting this red, he's opening up another red just below it. That'll pot in the left-hand corner. So he needs an angle on the black. And he's got the perfect angle now to play for that
17.
red. Not a great pack to go into, to be honest. I'd suggest playing for the loose red this time rather than go into them.
Do you think that one at the bottom of the cluster goes?
Yeah, definitely.
That might be a couple of shots down the line. If he finishes low on that one, he'd certainly open the pack up by playing on it.
Now it's decision time. If he's going to go into the pack, it's best to go into from the side he is now. Going in from the other side, he'll have very little room to not hit the first red. It's all about missing the first red. Oh, you're kidding me. That's just purely lack of concentration. Concentrated so hard on getting the right angle on the black. Completely took his eyes off the red. Schoolboy error. Amazing. It's just beginning to feel the heat.
Another example of these championship pockets as well. Always makes me giggle when some of my pals in the snooker club say, "Oh, those big pockets you're playing on." Take it from me, they are not. Great pot. And mentioned he'd missed 3 down that side. Well, that's how to rectify it. Okay, it's only a 25% success rate, but that was a beauty. And he knew full well he'd get the cannon off the other red, so the cue ball had come back down the table. It's just getting a little bit dangerous, this match, for Judd Trump. He needs to score here. He could end up embroiled in a really tough match.
This looks to be over it. If he's on one of the 2 reds to the left of the pink, it's not the reds he played on.
5.
There you can see he is. He didn't play anywhere near there, that's for certain.
I think he might take it, though.
Quickly. Played for choice of pink or black there.
7.
Obviously, the pink's going to be spot. It's going to be a tough job for the referee at the moment. Just will be hoping that the pink, in a couple of shots' time, will be available into one of the corner pockets. He'll be working on the black for the next couple.
Twelve. Thirteen.
Now, with the pink pots, he may decide to play for the pink here rather than the black, but it looks like he's played for the black.
21.
I think it's a key moment in this match now for Judd Trump. Obviously, he's still favourite to win it, whatever happens, but You know, he'd like to, you know, just let Stuart Carrington know he's still there, because at the minute, apart from the one break he made in winning his frame in this session, he hasn't looked very good at all.
29.
At the highest break in this match, 97 for Carrington, 85 for Judd. I've hardly seen a player that can generate so much spin, John, from little power. He just gets through the ball amazingly well.
36.
That's timing, isn't it? It is really timing. And when you ask, people say to you, what do you mean by that? What is timing? It's just, it's the individual's ability just to hit the ball sweetly, isn't
37.
it? It's just, he seems to hit it so nicely with so little effort.
This could be the key shot. If he gets nicely on the red to be able to bring the reds into play. Is he on it? Just about. Thought for a moment
42.
Johnny hadn't come far enough down, but when we show you the next camera angle, you'll see that he is.
I'm just wondering whether he'd take this chance just to play a little stun run through here and just nudge your red out on the way through, but possibility.
Like that, yeah, like that. John Bannaby on pink or black as well.
43.
He needs to get to 69 points to leave Carrington in a snooker. May have to play for the red in the middle. It doesn't look like anything pots in the same pocket as playing the black into. That's why it might be taking the pink.
Yeah, he's just got to be a little bit careful with this shot, hasn't he? It's not absolutely straightforward once he plays that cannon into the red. Ah, well played. Nice touch.
Very much like a Ronnie O'Sullivan or Jimmy White. He just reads the game so quickly. And he works out what's going to happen with the reds when he plays the cannon into them. He realises that even if the pink went back where it is now, not on its own spot, this red would still be available.
$49.
Just checking to see whether the pink will still go, and if it does, he'd like to get onto that pink rather than anything else, because it would bring the other two reds away from the pink spot.
I think he was just thinking there whether to play the run through, wasn't he? Just going to play that and then run through on the pink, but he's changed his shot again.
Yeah, John's suggesting playing the top spin and either bring the pink, push the pink over the corner, and if it doesn't work, you're on the black. But I think he should just hold it. That's what he looks like he's doing. Went up for the blue. Surprising.
50.
To be honest with you, that was the safe shot, wasn't it? As long as you get the right side of the blue, there's at least 2 or 3 reds pot in there, so you can give yourself an option. It was an interesting little situation. It was one that could have gone wrong, so he backed off a couple of times and he played the right shot there.
55. $56.
So 39 points in front. Red and colour. This has been really a good effort from Judd. He's been kept out of the game. He's missed a lot of balls. And this, of course, is frame ball, which takes him over the 68 points he needs. That's what that sidebar is.
You mentioned earlier in the session he was slightly frozen out and then he scored a 70 break to win the frame. And this has been very good. The opening red was a cracker.
17.
Well, to think there's a possibility of making a century where the balls are, this has been a first-class effort, especially under the circumstances.
75.
Always looked on. I don't know why the crowd thought he didn't play it in that pocket.
One of yours, that, Willie.
You can look at a million tapes, John, I won't find one of those from me. Well, what a shame there was no century, but what he did, what he had to do was win that frame to keep Carrington that few frames away from victory. Judd Trump goes 9-5 in front. And John, we've seen a series of long pots from Judd in this match. And you mentioned in commentary, I think he's missed 3 in this left-hand side, right-hand side pocket here.
Yeah, we're going to show you them. And the one thing to note about all of these is every one of them is thick.
Does that mean he's putting a bit of unwanted side on John? Or?
It could be, and it'll also be, he's just, not sighting them properly. But as I say, it's amazing how they work so thick. I mean, not really even hitting the jaws, are they?
And this was the worst one, where we thought that he had to play with side. Now, the thing is then, when you've had 3 on the trot like that, I mean, to even attempt this shot on, you mentioned in commentary that he had every chance of kissing the other red to get the cue ball back in the ball. But this was an unbelievable shot.
Fantastic. And look how close to the cushion as well. Watch the cue in, takes it right back there, knocks this in beautifully, straight into the pocket, flicks off the other red, comes back into the balk area. Fabulous shot. So even though he's missed a few, it doesn't put him off. He keeps going and playing his game.
Sign of a good temperament.
Frame 15. Judge Trump to break.
So this could be the last frame in this match. Stuart Carrington obviously have different ideas. Judd Trump breaking off once again very well indeed. We've also mentioned in commentary a couple of times how Judd's been working on his safety. That was a prime example there. He doesn't just, when he plays safe, he's trying to bring balls into open play as well and put your opponent in trouble, which means then, of course, they're faced with just playing to leave the white at this end of the table. There's hardly a shot on now to get back into balk.
No, he's definitely massively improved in that department. It comes with age, doesn't it? A bit of maturity. And what it also comes with is a couple of defeats, doesn't it? Lose games to people who maybe not have quite as much ability natural-wise as you have, but they just keep waiting for you to make mistakes and pick up on your safety. It all comes with time. But he's definitely improved hugely.
Yeah, because of Judd's great safety shot there, that's all that Stuart could do. Same place, get the white tight on the cushion behind the green. Well, it's fortunate if he's finished there, because there's nowhere in the world he played like that. He played on the balk cushion, trust me. Still would have probably got the snooker, but didn't mean to get the white so close to the green.
He's got to be a little bit careful here, Stuart. It's not just a straight into the side of the pack shot, this. The red that's below the pink may very well pot in the centre pocket, so if he ideally like him off the side cushion and rest into the right hand side of the pack, but be very careful with that, because he could leave that other red below the pink into the centre. So he may just have to come off 2 cushions and nestle into the back of the pack. That's what he's looking at.
He's gone too wide. He's gone too wide down. He's going to leave it right in the middle. He's left it touching ball, which is unlucky because it's an easy safety shot now for Judd. He plays the way he's looking at now. It's all about missing the kiss on the brown. Needs to miss that brown. Very well done. Perfect.
Yeah, there's just a little bit more purpose in every safety shot Judd plays these days. A couple of years ago, he'd have been just looking at that thinking, oh, I can't be bothered with it, I'll stick it anywhere in the break area, and that will do. But as you said, he just, full well, just to miss that brown would have been a bit of trouble. He's trying to earn some of his opportunities, not just be given them.
Yes, of course, every great safety gives you a chance to win the frame at some stage, and of course I would think over the length of a championship, if you can keep playing telling safety shots, it's probably going to win you 6 or 7 more frames than it would do if you're playing ordinary safety shots. You know, he's really thinking about things now. That's a good safety shot from Stuart Carrington as well. Put the red into balk. A little bit of tip tapping now. No player likes this, but no choice. It was essential to get the cue ball tight on the cushion if you can. Stops this shot being played. Very good. You see, now he can't play that shot. Same one that Stuart did.
Yeah, it might not look like much, that shot, but that was beautifully played. You always used to walk to the table thinking, please don't be tight to the cushion. But he couldn't have played that any better.
Once again, that's the kind of shot that Judd would have been a bit careless. He'd have just thought, well, just get it anywhere near the black spot area, that's fine. But he's not playing those careless safety shots anymore. Got to be a little bit careful with this safety exchange now, because the 2 reds just above the white, they're a plant in the middle. So he doesn't want to leave Judd, because you know Judd's going to take it on.
Yeah, the thing is, they look like you're aiming at the far jaw, those 2, but they can definitely be made. You hit the, actually what you'd think would be the opposite way, but you'd hit the right-hand side of the first red. And you could squeeze that. I don't know how that works, Willie. There's some sort of, I'm sure there's physicians everywhere telling me how that works, but I know it does.
I don't know whether, I presume Judd's obviously spotted it as well, so got to keep the cue ball on the left-hand side of the table at this end. You would have thought you could play a telling safety shot there. He's played that nicely.
Touching.
Oh, he's unlucky. He's left it touching.
Yeah, so good opportunity just to get the cue ball tight on the top cushion again and try and block off that red on the right hand side. See Stuart where he's pointing his cue now. He's just looking to see where he wants to leave the cue, but does he want to leave it there and stop that shot off the right hand red? I'd suggest that's what he'll be doing. Oh my goodness. What a pot that is. And look at the way he played it. He's played down here with an element of safety, and if you missed it, what a pot that is.
We didn't spot it, and as you're right, I said the key thing was, OK, potting it's good, but the path of the cue ball is unbelievable.
I mean, cueing off the cushion there is just tremendous. I have to say, by the way, that was very Hendry-esque. That pot was just like what, I mean, that's what used to drive you mad when you played Steve. You'd play great safety, put him in all sorts of trouble, and he'd pot one like that and clear up. And you think, why did I play safe?
9.
Fantastic, that was. Best pot of the match. Well, not ideal,
16.
but he'd be delighted to see that cue ball just sneak past that red, because at least he can cue this. Extended rest and a cue extension. And if he can make 73 here, which our sidebar is telling us, he'll be in the next round. Long way to go for that yet, but oh. Where did that one come from?
16.
That is so frustrating when you've done the hard work to give yourself a chance to win frame and match, and then that's not nerves, it's just, you know, misjudged. Obviously the long rest made a big difference in playing it.
One.
Now Stuart, if this was in practice, you'd win the frame from here, but obviously 9-5 behind, it's nowhere near like practice. This would show an unbelievable amount of character if he could win the frame at this visit.
Eight. Nine.
Still okay, but a little bit betwixt and between.
15.
Cue ball. Could have done with another couple of inches of roll there just to make this a bit easier. Obviously, somebody of Stuart's capabilities shouldn't be thinking of missing this one, but you want to have that cue ball under complete control when you're making these breaks. And good recovery. Played that nicely, a little bit of check
16.
side. But the cue ball off the cushion, perfect for the pink.
Give himself a little bit to do there. The red next to the blue, he'd do well to miss the cannon
22.
on the red that's near the green. So going in between the gap of green and brown, it brings that kiss on the red below the brown. So he's got to be very bit careful with this shot. This could go astray. It's all about missing brown and the red that's below the brown. Missed the brown on the way up, missed the brown on the way
23.
back. Well played.
I used to practice a few routines like this because you'd get odd frames where all the balls would end up down the balk area. So something
26.
you were always used to. So on occasions when I was practicing, I'd throw a few down there because it does happen a fair bit.
$27.
Feel like you put about 50 balls and you only score about 20 when they're down there.
$31. $32.
Yes, he'd like to get up to the pink and black again very quickly now. As John mentioned, you have to put too many balls at this end of the table to put the frame beyond doubt.
$35. $36.
At first glance, I think he's got away with it. Cue ball perilously close to the yellow there. Touching ball on the yellow would have been under break. So one good positional shot from Brown up this end of the table for the Reds.
He's got to slow up. So that's the problem you see when you play this kind of break. Okay, he's got 40, but he's potted about 7 or 8 reds. Now he's only 24 in front. If he misses with this position here, that lead will disappear very, very quickly. So this is missable. Well done. Unfortunate, not a great kiss.
41.
But I think he can pot the blue and get on the red in balk. It'd be a tough shot to get back to a red at this end, but just a little stun run through beyond in between green and brown.
Used all the pocket, that one. A little bit on the
46.
thick side, so cue ball didn't go down quite as far. So it just comes in off the right-hand jaw. Still expecting to pot this, but he's just got to stretch a little bit more than he would have had to.
$47.
Now he has the good angle on the yellow now to get back up for these 3 reds near the pink. I say 3 because there's only 3 of them pot. One's in the way of one another. That's nice. This has been excellent. He's held himself together really well here.
49. $50.
You can certainly see how he qualified. Very competent, good cueist. Plays the right shots. And as we mentioned earlier, if you beat Peter Ebden in qualifying, you can play. Because you can be pretty sure Peter was giving it everything he's got.
Just red and killer. Whatever happens in this match, this break will please him an awful lot because he's doing this with the utmost of pressure on his opponent, one frame away from victory. And he's not looked like twitching, not looked like being nervous. Seems to have great concentration, John, doesn't he?
Yep, I think he's a player. I agree with you, whatever happens today. Fabulous experience.
$64.
Very well played, Mr. Carrington.
65.
This has been right out of the top draw. All came, of course, from a very simple red that Judd missed when using the long rest. This was the rest, and it just got to roll it in, and it's amazing, isn't it? That wasn't nerves, that was just a little bit careless, maybe. Just going to sit there now knowing he's going to be losing another frame, but still 1-4. You'd expect him still to win. Just hope he gets a century. We've already had 21 centuries in the tournament so far. This will be Carrington's first ever at the Crucible.
And he won't construct many better, will he? They were all over the place.
79.
Looked like an explosion in the paint factory when he came to the table, didn't it? There was balls all over, those colours everywhere.
During this break, of course, he's potted every ball, every colour on the table as well, and with reds, you know.
84.
2 yellows, 3 greens, 2 browns, 1 blue, 4 pinks, 3 blacks. Amazing break. I've got to give it my famous every credit, John, here. They tell me off for saying every credit, but this is very, very good.
$93.
Slow down. Oh, let's come off a little bit. It needs the pink and black. Come off a little bit high, that one. Come on, Sturt. Make your first Crucible century. He's backwards against the wall. He had to produce, and boy did he produce. He'd be very disappointed not to have made the century though, but he's still in this match. He trails by 9 frames to 6.
Oh, we were all willing that one in, I must say. Now, I must tell you what's going on here in the Q Zone today, because all of these ladies in purple took part in the Ladies World Championship in Leeds between Friday and Tuesday. And they're all wearing purple today in support of the fact that it is Ladies' Day in Sheffield today. But we're all wearing purple to support the designated charity this year, Bluebell Wood Children's Hospice. And in fact, our designated sponsor, our title sponsor, is donating £200 for every century made at the Crucible this season. And if there are over 70, the title sponsor will give £25,000. So this is all great stuff. And it's lovely to see all of these excellent players here. Give us a wave, girls. Nice to see you. Thank you very much for coming today and showing us your skills. So we're being entertained royally here. And Steve, I know that you are in awe of some of these players here, because they've been giving us a great demonstration of their skills, haven't they?
Yeah, the skill level is similar to the professional game, has gone through the roof, and I think there's a person next to us who can talk about that better than I can.
Yes.
Ken in the qualifiers against Rhiannon Evans.
Yeah. I've seen it firsthand.
You have, and Rhiannon was here yesterday, and she was talking about the fact that yes, she would accept a wild card. She's going to join the qualifying school once again, but also I think it's really difficult for Rhiannon and indeed anybody starting out in snooker here, because you need a reasonable sized fund to get going. If you are to join the tour first time around, it's what, £30,000 to try and finance all the travel. It's hard going in a snooker.
It is a lot. It's very hard going, and you have to win matches. Of course, if you're not winning matches, you're not getting any money. So it's hard to stay on the tour and to keep going financially. Yeah, so it's a big commitment to stay on the tour and to go on the tour and enter every event. So yeah, it's tough for them, you know.
Yeah, the holy grail of being the top 128 player, whilst it's a success story when you get there, it actually then creates its own problems. Can you stay there, and can you officially be a professional in the eyes of how much money you're earning per year? Otherwise, you are really just treading water. So it's hard enough to get there, let alone what you've got to do to sustain yourself.
Well, that's an interesting point, because Stuart Carrington was saying that his mum and dad had actually helped fund him for a good 3 or 4 years in the game, and clearly he's now being able to pay his way. And as we've seen, he's very much still in this match. Let's get back to John and Willie.
Yeah, thank you, and I totally agree with you. He's very much still in this match. Once again, it's a similar scenario when it was 8-4 and 8-5. Judd wouldn't be too worried, but if he suddenly lost the next frame, 9-7, you start to look over your shoulder again.
One.
Great pot, but it's not on the black.
Green ball. One.
Needs to cover this red. I think you can get through to the potting with this red, and it's not nice. It's one of those that if it goes in, you've got a chance. If it doesn't, you're going to career into reds and leave Judd right in among the balls. So this is the shot that could keep him in the match. Very good. Very, very good.
One.
Well, the thing that showed me he's still thinking and focused properly was he played that so positively. He didn't just try and smash it in and hope for the best. He played it in a controlled fashion. Very nicely played, that was.
Another good shot, because the black will go into its own spot and then maybe still be available into one of the corner pockets. Tight in the left-hand side, and so he's going to have to move at least one of the reds away very quickly. The one just below the black needs moving, and the one to the right of the black needs moving. He can't get onto the black from this red. So best to negotiate the path to pink, and that's not straightforward. Doesn't want to overscrew this because it makes the pink difficult. And that's the problem. If he overscrewed it.
Anywhere but there. Amazing. If someone said they want you to screw it back and leave it completely full ball on the red, you couldn't do it.
Yeah, we often talk about fractions, don't we? And that's what it is. 2 inches shorter is fine, 2 inches further is fine. Just there, no good.
Green ball. That Carrington 9.
Didn't want that double kiss because he's left Judd a chance of this long pot here. And that's a pretty dangerous thing to do. Cracking pot and brilliant position. Superb. Yeah, brilliant pot. His long pot and success is only 67%, but that particular shot he plays as well as anybody. To hit that, well, what looks so hard and then just play perfect position on the blue. Incredible. Ideally, as quickly as possible, he'd like to get the red that's on the right-hand side closest to the top cushion out of the way. Can't do it here, but in a couple of shots he wants that one out of the way, so at least the black will pot in one pocket then.
Seven.
Not perfect on the blue. The pink's available. Pink will go onto the green spot, I think, should it be potted. Doesn't really want to put the pink out of play. That's why he's taking the blue, and he's just got enough angle to miss the jaws in screwing this back.
Lovely little shot that. Screw and reverse side, see the way it pinged off the cushion down towards the reds.
And now he's got a good angle. Now, will he play for the gap between the black and the pack to get onto the one that John's talking about that's making this a difficult situation? It's a big target. It's got 18 inches of space he can play into there. That's what he's played. And played your shot we were talking about earlier on, John, the two cushion escape, which widens the angle.
18.
It just gives you much more margin for error playing it that way. If you get too cute and get closer to it, you can not get on it lots of times. So playing it that way just gives you more margin for error. Here we go.
Yeah, I mentioned if you play that shot plain ball, it's okay off one cushion, but John said, you know, and rightly so, widen the angle, give you a massive margin of error. Now Judd Trump has a chance of frame a match because of those last two shots.
24.
He needs to get to 61 to leave his opponent needing snookers.
25.
I don't know who's working these out, Willie, but he's brighter than me.
I won't say it. Needs a bit of help, and he's got it. He didn't necessarily play to push that one over the middle, but it's turned out like. I mean, look at the way these are all straightened up. I mean, they're like soldiers now.
It's incredible, that cannon, isn't it? He's put 5, 6 reds all in a line. Incredible, that was the way they went all like that. It's like they stood to attention.
What a chance this is now for frame and match. He's been pushed all the way by Stuart Carrington. Just watch these reds again, like soldiers lining up. I knew the one on the right's not got in line. We'll have to tell him off when I get in.
39.
Obviously played to push through the red more than that, to leave the pink dead straight in the middle, but the pink should be no problem. I think we've got to give great credit to what happens now, because it looks like Judd is possibly going to go on to win the frame and match, and what an effort
45.
this young man has put up. He was outplayed in the first session, lost a couple, maybe he could have won, but this session he's matched him blow for blow.
46.
And his first visit to the Crucible, to have 90%, you'd have won probably at least 5 out of 10 matches, at least, with that pot success rate.
Hopefully a bit of cueing from Judd, that.
53.
Oh, it's a topspin on the cue ball. With very little effort.
Overrun that one, though. And he's not over the line just yet. Do you play the little cannon into the 2 reds, John?
Absolutely.
Or even if you hit the red and the pink at the same time, that helps.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you've got a little bit of pace in there just to split the 2 reds up, you'd be very unlucky not to be on one here.
Oh, he's played for it in the middle instead. And this is missable. I mean, I can't believe he's not played the cannon into the pink there, but if it goes in, he's obviously played the right shot. Very well done now. There's no problem now. Judd Trump into the second round. Marco Fu awaits.
67.
Can he finish in style and make a century?
He's been 1 or 2 little letters along the way. You'd expect that
68.
over a long match like this, but I've been very impressed when his chances come, Judd. With a very high success completion rate, hasn't he? When the balls have been there, he's really scored.
He's been pushed all the way this session.
74.
I mean, Stuart Carrington could have won all 4 frames and he won 3-1.
75.
Got a bad contact there, I think, and not much of an angle on the black. He wants to make a century. There again, you see, very little pace, but amazing how much cue ball run he gets when he hits. His timing
82.
is so good. A lot of people have hit that twice as hard.
84.
The chance for the 22nd of the tournament now, John.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if it's not taken, and make no mistake, this boy is a player in this year's World Snooker Championship.
87.
He's matured. He's definitely a better match player. Yes, he still goes for his shots and misses the odd one, but that's the way he plays. But when he's in amongst the balls and the way he hits them,
91.
he's as good as anybody.
I mean, we've had a 70 breaker above in the last
96.
4 frames. It's just been absolutely superb, this match. Really has. There's a century. Congratulations to Judd Trump. And there's the final black. Huge commiserations to Stuart Carrington. We'll see him again many times, I'm sure. But Judd Trump put his foot on the pedal then, just at the right time. He makes a break of 109 to win the match by 10 frames to 6.
Yeah, well played to Judd Trump. Commiserations to Stuart Carrington, who was a really game player for much of that final session. That was Judd Trump's 73rd, I understand, century of the season, and he is fully 21 ahead of the next best player, who's Neil Robertson. So that shows you the kind of form that he's brought to the Crucible. Your assessment, Steve, first of all, of his overall performance to get through today?
Well, he obviously did a job well in the first session, 7-2. I think he'd probably think it's job done, really. He got it over the line relatively easily. I don't think he ever reached red alert. Perhaps he got to orange. But and from Stuart Carrington's perspective, it's tough coming to the Crucible. It's such an alien environment. So, you know, perhaps it just takes one session to calm down and get used to it. He showed what he was worth in the second session, but of course a bit too late.
Indeed, yeah. Well, I believe we're able to talk to him now because he's with Rob Walker as Judd Trump.
Well, Judd 7-2 up, and it looked like it would be short work this morning, but all credit to Stuart. He turned it into a bit of a match today. Yeah,
I thought he played really well considering it's his first time here. Second session, he hardly missed the ball. I think he probably won't take as much credit as he would if it was a top player making those breaks. I think he played as good as anyone I've seen first time here.
Quite nice, though, to get the first round out the way, you know, being the penultimate first round match to finish. I bet you just wanted to get on with it.
I quite enjoy being the last one to play. You can sort of see how everyone's playing, and it's nice now to be in the second round, a couple of days off, and just look forward to the last 16.
How aware are you that people are excited about what you might bring to this year's championship? Brilliant win to come from behind against Ronnie in Llandudno, well, just over a month or so ago, and people think that there's an added dimension to your game this season and that you've got a great chance.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of anticipation this year. I think my results have shown that I'm playing some good stuff. I felt like I played well over the past couple of 2 days. I felt there's obviously a few things I need to work on, but other than that, I feel very confident. It was nice for Stuart to play how he did. It just shows there's always stuff to work on, and I think you won't really get many sessions where someone plays that well, I don't think.
Well, you said you've watched much of the action so far. Who else has caught your eye? Anybody in particular?
Not really. I'm just going to focus on my own game. If I play how I know I can, I'll win it.
Any thoughts on Marco Fu?
It's always a tough game against him. He's beaten me a few times. I've beaten him. I'll go out and enjoy it. Marco just gets on with it. You know what you're going to get. Some of the first rounds is quite hard because you don't never seen him play before. So with Marco, I know what I'm going to get. So I'll go out and just enjoy it.
Well done today, Judd.
Thank you. Cheers.
Marco Fu is his next opponent in round two. He's got a couple of days off before that gets underway. And Ken, your assessment really of where he starts out. It was interesting to hear him talking about having to wait a good few days to get underway. Have you been in that situation before, and how did you find that?
Yeah, I think the best thing is not really care, and what he said, not really care what's going on. Just get here, sort of feel your way around and do your bit of practice, relax, but you're better off not watching any of the other guys playing at all, you know, just get into your own little bubble. And what I did when I was world champion here was trying to get away from the Crucible, because sometimes you can get a little bit caught up in the hype, in the press room, what's being written in the press, you know, the interviews and stuff like that. Get away from the Crucible, get away from the atmosphere, and just come in fresh every time. But I think today, I think he'd be delighted with the workout, because if he had ran out a 10-2 winner, he wouldn't have really known how he was playing sort of within that match. But the fact that Stuart Carrington put it up to him and he responded, and particularly with the century in the last frame, it'll make him feel a lot better going into the Marco Fu match, which is going to be a different complexion.
Absolutely. You do feel that Stuart Carrington has done himself justice here over the last couple of days, particularly this afternoon.
Yes, and it's hard to know exactly how a player who walks off the table having lost, when obviously the build-up was so exciting, how he judges that. But I think really you've got to say that you may need one visit to the Crucible before you realise what the problem with it is, how much of a challenge it is. So you'll probably come back next season with added excitement that he's had a good finish to the season, not brilliant, but you know, you can't complain about qualifying, and using that as a springboard, and that's probably the best way to look at it. OK, well, he goes home, Judd Trump goes on, and we're going to have just a little hiatus before we get into our second action of the day. You know, Thursday's always Blue Peter Day, so here's a frame we made earlier.
Well, I thought I had one of the best jobs in the world, but my opponent this afternoon, she thinks she's got one of the best jobs because she is presenter on Blue Peter. It's a pleasure. Lindsay Russell, how are you doing? Nice to see you.
So good to meet you.
And you've sort of got a history of snooker for watching, because your granddad was mad on it, wasn't he?
Oh, my granddad absolutely loved snooker. He was crazy for it. Even when he got a bit ill, all he wanted to do just put the snooker on all the time.
And have you got a snooker table at home?
Yeah.
Right.
Don't say that. I wish I hadn't told you that, because now you'll expect me to be good, and I'm honestly... My brothers are really good.
Right.
My dad's all right.
Yeah.
He'll tell me off for saying that.
OK.
And I'm not at all good.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just break off and we'll see how we get on. And honestly, don't worry about it, because I'm rubbish now anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. You'll look good against me, don't worry.
OK. Oh, dear.
Here we
so
go.
just straight down the middle?
Smack the red.
Just go for it?
Just go for it,
OK.
Yeah. OK. You have to put up with worse on Blue Peter, don't worry.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. Oh, it was the pink, but very good try.
Can't win them all, can you? Oh, dear.
Lindsay, I've got to ask you, what Blue Peter now, the longest running children's show in the world, 1958?
1958,
Heavens.
yes.
How did you come to get this dream job then? How did it all come about?
Well, it came about in a bit of a weird way for me, because I won a competition. So I was selected by children. It was kind of X Factor, but for kids. And so my audition, from my very first audition, the first time I walked into the BBC, that was all televised, and it was made into a series called Blue Peter, You Decide, and from that got narrowed down to 3 people from 23,000.
23,000?
I know.
Wow.
And great to know that it was the children themselves that voted you. I mean,
I know.
Talk about being voted in by your peers, that's
I tell
extraordinary.
you what was difficult, bribing 23,000 children, I bet you. I bet it cost you a few quid.
Do you know what? For ages, I believed that the only person that voted was my mum, just again. But when I did, yeah, got here in the end. But I'm sure it was just my mum.
Fantastic. Right, come on, I think it's your
Yeah, go
shot
on,
here. What have you got on here,
Well, I'll tell
Lindsay?
you what we'll do is we'll
Help me out,
okay,
please.
Well, we'll put that there.
Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, well, no, but for
Please.
you I am. Right. So if you just nice and slowly try and knock that one in there.
Here
Come on,
we go.
you can do
I'll be
this.
so happy if I just get
Well,
one.
honestly, just nice and slowly. Oh, nearly.
You thought
you
even she can't miss this.
You needed a
and I
little bit of
did.
sticky back plastic on that one just to get that one sorted.
Need more than that.
I wondered how long it would take him to get that in.
I know.
Oh,
Well,
dear.
the thing with the show as well is it's hard to. It's 1958. I mean, that is unbelievable. I used to come home from school and watch, John Noakes and Purvis and all. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, some true legends have presented. It's so cool to be part of that lineup as well, because not only do we have children that watch now, we have their parents who say, I used to watch it when I was younger, and it's a generational thing. And it's gone through the ages, and I'm really proud to be part of it.
Whoever got the format or the idea of the programme, and they got it so right, didn't they, at the beginning?
And we still stick to all of that, so we still do, a make where we make something every week, and the instructions are kind of all given out. It's so stressful because obviously we're still live every single Thursday. And
You've not seen you working with any elephants yet?
no, I've done no elephants. Guide dogs and okapis and giraffes, but not elephants yet.
Is there anything that comes up on the programme, they say, we want you to do this, which you go, don't really fancy this?
Yeah, there's loads. Last Monday, cleaning up a carpy poo in a zoo. There's loads of those. You do those every week.
What's not to like about that? Come on.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yeah, you can have a go.
no.
No, come round this side.
I
You'll be
do
fine.
appreciate that you're helping me. You're
Well,
trying to
I'm
make
trying
me look
to help
good.
you. There you go. I'm not doing a very good job of it, but there you go. So, right, you can pop that one in there. You can do that.
Really?
That is what's known in the trade as a big pocket, OK? So if you hit it anywhere sort of there, it should have the red and go in or go in itself.
No pressure then.
No pressure at all.
But this should definitely go in.
This should definitely go in. You can do this.
Slowly?
Yes.
Okay.
That'll be fine. That's looking good. Big
Oh,
pot,
wow.
marvellous. Look at that. Oh. See? There you
That's
go.
a highlight.
Right, there you go. Now you've got another big pocket.
Oh,
Black in
no,
there.
I get another go.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's how you make a break.
I forgot that if you do well,
okay,
you have
so
to
you
keep
need to
going.
hit the black slightly on that side.
Could we just...
Well, I might when it gets to the pocket,
Okay.
but give us a chance. No, the
what
black,
am I
the black. You've just spotted the red. You need the black. It's a colour now.
See, I should have revised.
Come on.
So,
Yeah, just the black.
like this?
Slightly on that side of the black.
Oh, no.
Yes, you can do this. Nice and soft.
I've done so much worse and I'm getting nervous over snooker.
Honestly, you can do this.
Oh!
Sorry, but that was good. Even I'll admit that was quite good.
See, self-praise is a
my
recommendation.
granddad would be proud.
We sometimes say that the Crucible is a marathon for snooker players, but of course you're doing your own sort of marathon, aren't you? Go
yeah,
on.
well, I'm
you
currently
puffed your cheeks
training
out
for
there.
I'm training for the London Marathon at the moment, so fingers crossed that'll be good. If I can even just cross the finish line, I will be happy. I also did a mountain marathon last year, which was an 18-hour up and downhill ski race.
Wow.
With Graham Bell, so that was very interesting.
And you're worried about potting a snooker ball.
I know, it's silly, isn't it, that I get nervous about snooker.
You're on a break of 8, so you've got a red over the middle at the moment.
Okay.
Well, you're doing well here,
Do you reckon this one?
Yep.
Oh dear.
You can do this. That's it. Q.
I appreciate your support.
Q in the middle of the white. That's it. Beautiful. That's right. Nice and steady.
Oh, nearly.
Okay. So that's
Not
8.
a foul.
8's good. 8's more than you thought you were getting.
Not a foul.
That's true.
You are hopefully going to be watching some of our coverage, and we'll obviously be watching Blue Peter whilst we
Of course.
can at the same time.
You scratch my back.
Who are you going to be supporting?
I've got to say Ronnie, just because I don't know that much about snooker, but I do know about Ronnie, because my dad was a fan, granddad was a fan, so for that reason I've got to say Ronnie.
Fantastic. She was lovely, Lindsay. And in fact, 5 o'clock is the time, CBBC, for Blue Peter this afternoon. You see, there's some thought gone into this. Well, a little bit anyway. OK, for the remainder of the afternoon, we're going to be in the company of Scotland's Anthony McGill. He is playing the defending champion, Mark Selby. Now, some of you will remember when we first really saw Anthony play to some of his full capabilities. It was at the UK Championship where he gave Ronnie a game. And it was really then that his quirky humour and his warmth and his personality and, of course, his fantastic skill we began to see that across television screens. Now, he is introduced here by Rob Walker as a man who's licensed to thrill, Anthony McGill. You see what he did there? But we're not quite sure whether that suits Anthony. Let's find out.
He's got a licence to thrill. He's Anthony McGill.
We've got to try and nail a nickname. Now, licence to thrill, I got a few hints on that one from John Parrott, but it didn't go down brilliantly from your side, I don't think, judging by your facial reactions in the tunnel.
No, I was just surprised at it. I didn't realise that you were going to call me that. My first session, I don't think you gave me a nickname, and then you came out with that, so I was just a bit taken aback. But it's not the worst I've heard, so well done on your efforts.
There are a few others that have been floated around. Now, let's clear one thing up. You definitely don't like McNuggets.
No, it sounds like a fast food meal.
OK, no problem. And you are your own man. You're not growing up in Steve Davis's shadow. OK, so we'll dispatch that one. A few people on Twitter have said Ginger Ninja. I'm not sure about that one.
Well, I'm not a ninja. I'm a snooker player. So that puts that one to bed.
Okay. Are we leaning towards keeping it for now, or shall we drop the nickname entirely and just call you Anthony McGill and get you out there to do your magic?
No, I like a nickname. I keep licensed to thrill right now, unless anyone can come up with anything better.
Look, on a serious note, fantastic century clearance against Stephen McGuire on the biggest stage of all, in arguably one of, if not the biggest match of your career. Come the money moment, you've got nerves of steel.
Deciding frames, century breaks, world championships. It's a very nice habit. Hopefully I can keep it up. Well, hopefully my matches don't keep going to deciders. Hopefully I can win easier, but if they do, then it's nice to know that I've got that in the tank.
And you've got the defending champion next, who also came through a deciding frame thriller. Do you believe you've got a chance against Mark Selby?
No, I'm not intimidated. I'm more excited, more inspired. But that was, like I said in my interview after my match, I was hoping Mark would win so that I could get a crack at him. They're the kind of games that you want to play in.
Oh, what a fantastic final frame he played against Stephen McGuire with that century to finish things off under real pressure. But as he says, he's not quite sure about the nickname yet, but if you have any better suggestions, hashtag @BBC Snooker will be the place to send them to. Now, we've been talking about nicknames, actually. There's quite a few in snooker, obviously. What are your thoughts on something for Anthony? It strikes me that we perhaps don't know him as well as we should do before he's christened, almost.
Probably we all had a couple of years before we got a nickname. You nicknamed me Crafty Ken.
Crafty.
Now I'm Clueless Ken. I would say for Anthony McGill, maybe the Flying Scotsman.
Nice. OK, Steve?
It's difficult to say, obviously, if he's going to turn down the chance of the Ginger Ninja, he's really on shaky ground, in my opinion. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, for me, from my perspective, he looks far too happy. I don't know if he's going to get anywhere like being that nice and happy. It's just ridiculous how he looks. He's just smiling all the time. We've got to have miserable people playing this game. Well, and it's tough. You're right, because, I mean, before you were the darling of Dublin, yeah. That was named by Alan Hughes.
Yeah.
Before that, what were you before that?
I didn't even have a nickname. It was that bad, so...
See, Anthony McGill is Ant.
Yeah. Yes, he is Ant.
Can he stay with Ant? Is it strong enough? Will it last the pace?
Well, it's an interesting one because he comes on to the Smiths, this charming man, and to me, he is a charming man. Yeah. And one thing that people don't know about him, and this might help you actually, one of his things that he does, and it's very unusual, before he goes out to play, he sits in a kind of trance-like state in the middle of a corridor, watching the world go by. He did it in the UK in York. It was a very unusual thing to do.
Meditative McGill.
Meditative McGill. No, doesn't quite have that ring. We're leaving the ball in your court, by the way. OK, so this is Anthony's first experience of the Crucible, and having beaten Stephen Maguire, clearly he's in great form. But what about his opponent, Mark Selby, the defending champion? Well, this is Mark's tournament history, if you like, here. He managed to qualify for the first time in 2005. This is his 11th go at it here at the Crucible, and he was put out in the first round by John Higgins. It took him 3 years in total to get to his first final, and he was beaten there by John Higgins. Now, the next few years were reasonable. He got put out by Mark King, having come back with a great deal of expectation, obviously. But from 2009 to 2011, a quarter-final, a semi-final and a quarter-final, solid stuff. Saw a little bit too much of Barry Hawkins thereafter, because he was beaten by him in the first round and in the last 16 in 2012 and 2013. But it was really last year that we saw exactly what this man can do. And he came into that final against Ronnie O'Sullivan and he won 13 of the last 17 frames to overturn Ronnie's advantage and to beat Ronnie for the very first time in the Crucible final. It was an extraordinary performance, and of course it was the final piece of the jigsaw in his career as well, because with it came the triple crown of World, UK and Masters titles. So that is it in a nutshell for Mark Selby, and he's up against McGill today. And if we can just get to see this match, when we left this earlier on, McGill had made a very good start. He took a 1-0 lead, and we're going to join them early on in frame 2 in the company of Stephen Hendry and Dennis Taylor.
You just have to leave the white tight on the cushion here, to the left of the black. Oh, that's near the pocket.
Foul. Anthony McGill 4.
Just hit the red much thicker than he intended.
Good solid pot, and played with great confidence to leave the cue ball in the middle of the table. Now straight away he's going to play for the red that's in the black spot to the right corner. Hopefully finish high on it so he can play for the black. May just not have travelled far enough to be able to play for the black. So we're playing this screw shot with lots of right hand side. Back up for the blue. Blue into the left centre.
Seven.
He can play as he was lying out there, leave the red to left corner. He can also follow through of 3 cushions here. I think that's the shot he'll play. No, he's chose to play for the single red. So again, make sure he finishes high on the blue. If he does get a nice angle, he'll have an option to go into the pink and smash the pack open.
13.
The only thing that may dissuade him from going into the bunch is that it may push reds towards the black and maybe block up the black spot. But I think the angle is so good, they may have to do it. Hit them perfectly.
He's a bit unlucky as Anthony gives us a big smile. But
80.
as Stephen mentioned, he couldn't have hit it any better, but they just kept on rolling, and very unfortunate there. Left with a couple of tricky reds, one into either corner pocket up past the blue.
Anthony McGill. 80.
Wasn't easy, he was hampered queuing. Missed it by a long way. A little bit unfortunate that the break ended there.
Mark doesn't like the pot, the one that's just above the pink, because of the positional side of things. It's not easy to get onto a colour. That's why he's playing the safety shot. Just going to play his way in just to settle down. It should be a fairly comfortable escape for Anthony here. I'm not sure what Mark said to him, but they both had a little smile about it. It was a thin one. He probably said something like, "You're a little thin ball wizard." Now, can he knock one in? No, no. Well, if he can't pot one, you know where the white's going here. It's going tight in behind the blue. Because with the reds open like this, if he can put this white tight on the blue, it wouldn't be all that easy for Mark to leave things safe if he does hit a red. Straight away, the red you're looking at to land on is the one to the right of the black. But where is the path through to that one? He could get to that red, but I don't know if the green's in the way. He might have to play it with a little trace aside. I'm not sure if it's a natural angle. He has had a look at that, but that's a tricky angle to land on that. No wonder he's scratching his head. This will test his escaping from Snooker's skill. So if he lands on that, everything might be covering each other, but you know, he'd leave the one near the blue, or a half chance on the one near the blue, so he'll do well. I don't know if he can get enough side on this. He's playing with lots of left-hand side. He's left a possible red to the middle pocket. Looking at the angle, not all that easy to get position, so maybe it's not too bad here. See, the one on the pink spot, he can pot it, but he can't get onto a colour, so. That tells you what he's intending to do. A little thin snick to leave the white somewhere near the cue there. Well, this is a thin snick. He's looking at cutting this one in. The one that's closest to the blue. Very thin. Cut this. Change of plan. Not a bad choice there, because he's taken the opening frame. He's 22 points in front. He's thinking to himself, well, why should I have a go at a difficult one and maybe, you know, stick mark in amongst the balls? So he's keeping things tight here.
I think he's left a red to the left middle. Maybe we'll hold for the pink to the corner. Just played that lovely pace. Excellent opportunity now to take the second frame.
Seven. Eight. 14. 15.
he would be disappointed if he didn't win the frame from here. Enough reds in the open
20.
to make this frame safe.
21.
That's the magic number there, 69, that he's looking for.
26.
And I mean, obviously, there's no way
27.
Mark Selby's going to be panicking. First to 13, 2-0, but just worrying signs. He's been outplayed in these first two frames. No matter who you are, Dennis, you don't want to be going 2-0 down.
But the thing about Anthony McGill, Stephen, you get the sense, you know, that he's out there. You think he's been around for years playing at the Crucible. This is his first time playing at the Crucible. And he's so relaxed.
Yeah, I think that's one of his best assets, and nothing seems to faze him at all. He's very composed out there. And he's just we're starting to see him more regularly in the TV stages of big tournaments, so it's taken him 2 or 3 years to maybe get used to it. But he's just going to get better and better, I feel, especially with experiences like this.
40. $41.
And just the pink needed when he's past that magic number that you see on the right of your screen.
$47. $48. $54. 55. Thank you. 62. 63.
He's good to watch, isn't he?
Anthony McGill, 63.
He stamped his foot on the floor to help the black into the pocket, which would have been a foul. But what a start for this young ginger-haired magician from Glasgow. 2-0 against the defending champion.
Dennis has got his ideas in early, I see, but that's another nerveless start from the 24-year-old, who of course sent the former world number 2 Stephen Maguire home to Glasgow on Sunday. Into frame 3 we go, and it's the Crucible new boy, 9 points in front.
Well, obviously the table's drifted there, because you couldn't misjudge it by that much. a little bit unfortunate.
One.
First time Mark Selby's been in first in the first 3 frames.
Eight. Nine.
The red. There's 2 reds above the black. The left one of those. Left camera on that one. Just have enough angle to do that. Yep. Because it was a little bit straighter, the black had to force it, and that's why he's so close to this red, but he's still on it.
16. Seventeen.
That's where a little bit of height comes in useful there. He was able to sit on the table and bridge over that red. Well over 6 feet tall mark, about 6'2", something like that. Got a good angle now to drop nicely
23.
onto the blue. And straight into
24.
the red. And that in turn, he's just got to make sure he's not planting a red into the left corner. Just have a look round. That's what he's coming around to look at, to make sure there's no possible plants. One wouldn't go in off the other. And that will determine how hard he hits the blue.
Yeah, I think he's got to hit the right-hand side of the pack. The red that's away from the bunch will stop the cue ball travelling towards the black cushion. That's what he's done. Perfect. Excellent shot. Just doesn't want to be straight on this red.
29.
Well, as you can see, he's finished straight. So he's got a slight problem here. He screws straight back. He's got to get enough side on it, otherwise he'll snooker himself on the black. And he's played that
30.
perfectly. Played that with loads of right-hand side. It's what we call the reverse side. He hits it right-hand side, and then as it hits the cushion, it spins off to the left. Couldn't have played that any better.
Thanks. 37. $38. $43. 44.
Knocked another red safe there, but it doesn't matter if he can take the others, but they're not straightforwardly placed. Come up a little bit short.
51.
There's a little triangle of reds there. They're all blocking each other, so It's amazing.
Mark Selby,
The
51.
previous shot didn't play it very well. He was only 2 or 3 pots from securing his opening frame. That white come up a long way short of where he intended to be. Not easy to control this when the red's so close to the pocket. We'd be hoping to get on the black. Couldn't have played that any better. And it's all about the cannon now.
Yeah, the red that's directly above the black, if he catches the right hand side of that, he's going to nudge another red for the left centre. He just didn't want a full ball contact on any of those reds.
Yeah, he needed a half ball. Just watch this. He hits the red more or less full ball, and that was the last thing that he wanted to happen there. What's he done here?
Anthony McGill, 8.
And there is a path through to the red that's over the pocket, as you can clearly see there, but it was the cannon that spoiled everything for Anthony. He knew he had a chance, but he's let that slip. Useful kiss on the green.
1.
Because without the kiss, I don't think he'd have been on a colour there, Stephen.
Yeah, that was very fortunate. I think he raised his hand to Anthony there.
Five. Six. $13. 14.
'Long gone.
21.
55 the difference, just 43 on. So Mark Selby can settle down as we go right down the queue with him.
22.
There's not many sports where you can get that close to the action. You were right down the queue of Mark Selby there.
29. 30. 37. 39.
Nice shot there, run inside, top right hand side to bring the cue ball around the angles for the green.
Thank you. 42. 46.
Exhibition shot here. Lots of right-hand side.
46. And the
Well,
frame.
that's a lot better from Mark Selby. Took a couple of chances. But he's got his first frame on the board. Trails Anthony McGill 2 frames to 1.
Thank you. Frame 4. Mark Selby to break.
Much too thick. And an early chance for Mark Selby. Mid-session interval coming up. You play all these longer matches and little mini sessions. Your target's 3-1 if you can win the 4 frames 3-1. You're delighted. But a good early chance for Mark Selby here, and he's getting better. He's building up nicely. Bit edgy at the start, but that's a bit more like it.
Yeah, you see this as a result of Anthony McGill's long pot miss. And that's the only problem with playing it a confident way. He didn't play as a shot to nothing. He played that if he potted the blue, it'd be on a colour. But the only risk with that, of course, is if you miss the pot, you leave the cue ball in the middle of the table. But it was the correct way to play it. And that's a poor shot from Mark Selby. And pot the green of 3 cushions, the 2 reds that's just above the black to the left corner. Stun this with left-hand side of 3 cushions.
Yeah, a little peach of a shot that.
12.
Taking that all the way around the angles that Stephen suggested.
13.
Might be able to just banana this slightly, and then he won't cannon that red that's above the black. He'll get into the bunch, you would feel. Well, he needs that red to pull up, otherwise it's end of break. Didn't catch it as well as he normally does.
20.
Didn't get enough action. He wanted to get further into the pack because that red that's out on its own was always going to be available if he had done that, but maybe he can just snick this in, keep it going. It looks thin, doesn't it?
$21.
Oh, he needs another good shot. It'll have to be the yellow this time.
23. Mark Selby, 23.
Well, yeah, he didn't want to be saying that. That's very unlike Mark Selby. It's not like him to take his eye off the pot, but he did. He was thinking more about the cannon there. Even the world #1 defending champion can do that.
Yeah, he never had control of that cue ball hardly throughout the whole break there.
One.
He may choose to go into the bunch here. A nice angle. Doesn't have to hit it too hard. The reds are already, they're not tightly bunched together.
Eight.
It's come up a little bit short. I don't know if he can hold this for the pink. If not, he'll have to go up for the yellow, green or brown because the blue's a bit awkward.
Nine.
This means that you're having to travel a lot further with the cue ball. You want to try and keep close control, make everything as easy as possible for yourself. Where he just pointed there, I think he's playing for the red. It's next to the blue. Depending on the angle here, you might have to screw back for the possible green this time. Looking at that angle there. Now he's playing the stun shot. That'll do nicely. 12. Nice little stun, just feathered the blue, but knew he was always going to finish nicely on the pink. And it's not going to tie the pink up when it's respotted.
$18. 90.
He nearly did exactly as Mark Selby done previously, but it was just the
26.
weight that carried that into the pocket. At this stage, well, he stopped in his tracks. He thought he'd missed it. Another little tricky one along the cushion.
Anthony McGill, 26.
More of a little grimace there, wasn't it, than a smile? Mark having this cleaned here. He knows it's quite an important shot coming up. Go through for the blue if he pots this.
One. 6.
He's going to need the extension, but he can play this red, and if he can get enough screw on it just across the line, and he's perfect on the black. Doesn't have to hit this very hard. It's just below centre, and as I said, made a lot easier because he's got the extension there on the cue, which he just banged against the side of the arena there. A delicate little one.
Seven.
They're all available here. Have to do something careless not to clear these up. He's not cueing as smoothly as he normally
40.
does just yet, Mark. So he's come up a bit short with that as well. There's no way he was
50.
going to have to go up for the blue if he had just played that as he intended.
No, apart from the straight red with reverse side that was showed at the end of the last frame, he's not getting the reaction at the cue ball yet that he normally does. Just not timing the ball properly. You see him come up again just a little bit short. No problem. I think he'll play a little cannon to leave the pink to the left centre. Well, in fact, he's straight enough to follow through for the black, is he? I think the little cannon's the shot.
$21.
Just thinking that the break that Anthony was at the table, there was a couple of times when he could have gone to the bunch and refused. Perhaps just not, maybe not aggressive enough when he gets his chances.
$27. $28.
Yeah, give that a little extra concentration. He's dropped his chalk now. $32 the difference, or just this red and the
35.
black, and we're back all square.
36.
I suppose overall Mark Selby will be quite pleased going to the mid-session interval at 2-all, because
43.
Anthony looked as if he was in better form, but
44.
this will give Mark Selby a little bit of confidence, and Anthony a little bit to think about. But I suppose if someone had said, Anthony, after the first 4 frames you'll be 2-all with the defending champion, he would have taken it.
51.
Eight frames to be played in this first session, which is the best of 25. 2 8s and a 9.
56.
The magic number is 13. That gets you through to the next round. No really big breaks. Anthony had a break of 63 in the second frame. Well, he's going to pot the pink with the blue. He's in a bit of a hurry. No, that's a pretty good position. Give us a little trick
65.
shot. Now watch this shot here. How many cushions? 1, 2, 3, 4, and here we come. Here we come. Oh, what a shame.
Wow. Anthony McGill 6.
So we had an
Mark
earlier
Selby,
break of
65 in the
51,
front.
and then he finished with a break of 46, and we go to the mid-session interval. It's even Stevens, 2 frames all.
It is indeed, and it's been a fascinating watch so far, hasn't it? And what's also been fascinating are some of your responses to the nickname question. What are you going to call Anthony McGill? By Jiminy, you have been going for it. We've had loads of them. Thank you very much. And in fact, Rob Walker is here, the man who's going to have to weave them into introductions here. Rob, loads of them. Many going on the flame-haired nature of Anthony. So Howard Benwell says Anthony flame-grilled McGill. We've got Super Ant. Dave Lowe says he reminds him of a young Prince Harry. And actually, Rach says he's got a charming personality, so Prince Charming. A lot of people going on the Charming Man Smith's introduction, the walk-on music. We've got the Smiling Assassin, Anthony Fireball McGill. A lot of people really switched on to this idea of how he meditates in the corner before he goes out. So we've got everything from the gardener, the thinker. Mrs. Stubbs says meditation man. Catherine Turner says the chill McGill, which I think you could work with. License to Thrill, no nonsense McGill. But maybe as well, Chesterfield Tim saying the Iron Brew Kid, a nod to his Scottish heritage. William McLachlan saying Anthony Iron Q McGill. Have you got something to work with there, Rob?
Well, there's so many to choose on. Do you know, one of the best things about this is that people are talking about this kid. He's fantastic to watch, Hazel, and he's so modest, isn't he? I mean, you know, the way I was at Pond's Forge when he smashed in that century against Mark King to book his place at the Crucible, and then, of course, he does the century against Maguire in the decider. I wonder, first of all, it's got to be something that he likes, but what about Iron Will McGill? Because you've got a little bit of the fact that he's not intimidated by any opponent, as he's showing here against Selby. Iron Will McGill, is there something in that?
What do you think, boys?
I like that. I like the license to Trill. I thought that's got a nice ring to it.
License to what?
License to Trill.
Oh, right.
You're a bad
No, I thought it was access to budgie suit.
All right, so you've got plenty to work on there, Rob. Will you put these to him? At some point? Yes.
Because I was mortified. It was a little tip from John Parrott to go license to Thrill, and I thought, OK, we'll throw it in a little bit because he's playing well. And then he was sort of umming and ahhing about it in the tunnel. So I went to see him in the practice tables and said, look, are you OK with license to Thrill? If you've got any other ideas, let me know.
There is the possibility, and a few people have mentioned it on Twitter, actually, that he has a little resemblance to Hergé's Adventures of Tintin. If you take a look at the picture of him, he's a little bit... He probably doesn't like that, but could he be called Tintin?
Well, we can only put it to him, can't we,
We
Hazel?
can, yes, we can indeed. And obviously he's got a match to play, so we're having a bit of fun, but we're also thoroughly enjoying watching him. Rob, thank you very much. You crack on with that.
I will.
And we will have a quick word with our defending champion, Mark Selby, because he's up against a rookie, as you know, in Anthony, but he had a heck of a trouble with another rookie, Kurt Mafflin, in the opening round. In fact, he was preparing his Crucible Curse Strikes Again speech when he was 9-8 down before winning the last couple of frames. So how did he feel about going into this match today?
My father passed away when I was 16, before I turned professional. And I always said to him that I'd try and win the World Championships one day in today's cup. I feel as though there's a lot of weight lifted off my shoulders now, because for years and years I was coming here thinking, well, I need to win this one, I need to win this one, and if I don't, I'd be disappointed. And the longer and longer it went on, the harder and harder it got. So it was nice to sort of put that to bed last year. Felt like coming here I'd be a lot more relaxed because I've got that weight off my shoulders now, but then with all the hype of defending champion and beating the Crucible Curse, seemed to all come back on top of you again.
As the defending world champion, he's the jester from Leicester. He's the one and only Mark Selby.
It's nice to be called out defending champion. Yeah, I thought I played for the majority of the match, probably 70 or 80% of the match. I felt like I played well up until 8-5. Didn't really get that many great chances from 8-5 to try and put the match away, and to be fair to Kurt, he played well from 8-5 to go 9-8 in front and probably should have won 10-8. But I managed to just show my courage and just dig in and never say die attitude, and happy to pull through in the end, really.
There you see the relief.
If I wasn't to have won and lost, I mean, I'd have felt like I'd have gone out on the first day and the tournament's not even really started yet, and there I am sitting at home watching the rest of it, so thankfully that's not the case.
Very well done. This crowd have warmed to this young man.
Yeah, I seen the last frame against Maguire. He had a fantastic break under the occasion. First time here, 9-all, held himself together really, really well and made a fantastic break. I've only played him once or twice before, but I mean, I think he's only 23 or 24 years old, but you watch his game and he plays as if he's a 30 or 40-year-old, as if he's been playing for many, many years. He's got not really many weaknesses in his game. He's more than capable of going on to win the tournament. I mean, fingers crossed for my sake, I hope he don't, but I mean, I'm sure one day he will be world champion.
Oh, high praise indeed from the current world champion, and he's up against McGill now. We're going to rejoin them after the interval in frame 5. So let's get back into it. Selby 5 points in front as we head back to Stephen and Dennis.
One.
He's got the perfect angle to go into the reds if he wants, but he had a look at those two near the black. That's what he's played on.
Three.
Because he can clear this black spot area with a couple of shots here.
Four.
Yeah, that's perfect. He can play for the red now that's closest to the black. Well, he might have to wait to the next shot.
9.
Just making sure that the black is on its own spot, because
He spots first.
he can't he can't ask the referee. He's not sure if it's on the spot or not, and the referee can't help, and that's why he's smiling. Sometimes it's not easy. It's a little.
I'll tell you after.
He said, "I'll tell you after where the spot is." Does it go up onto the brown spot?
Don't go on.
No, that's the ball marker. No, there's no way. Is there room for that? Wow. Oh. Loads of room.
$80. $25. $26. $33. $34.
Seems to be growing stronger with each shot here, Mark Selby. bit of a shaky start in the opening couple of frames. Anthony did very well with a 63 break to go 2-0 up, but since that it's been all Mark, you'd have to say. Breaks of 51 and 46. And then a 65 to level at 2-all. And well on his way here to the 5th frame, which 49. Will give him 3 in a row.
$50.
Yeah, this has been much more like it in this break. Excellent control of the cue ball.
57.
So I might be surprised if he doesn't go on to make the first century of the match.
58.
He's just, and saying that, he's had control of the cue ball, he's just played a really careless shot. He's finished 2 straight in the black. Just off straight the wrong way, so he can screw off the side cushion for a red to the left centre. Needs lots of left hand side. Oh, he's playing the follow through of 2 cushions. Well, in the end, it was a pretty comfortable shot.
65.
We've had 21 centuries so far this year's Betfred World Championship. Day 6, Mark at 2, 71. And his opening match against Gert Mafflin.
72.
Not a straightforward run to make a century break, but there is every chance. Not sure if the red next to the pink pots after he pots this one.
79.
Might be available into the left corner.
$80.
And the way he's played that tells me that that red is available next to the pink. And being a right-hander, won't be a problem to get on the one that's near the cushion.
87.
Oh, he's missed it.
Selby,
it was close to hitting the pink there. It was pretty tight, so no century break. But that's more like it from the defending champion. That magnificent break of 87 takes him into a 3-2 lead. It's 3 in a row for Mark Selby.
And a reminder that this is in fact a 2nd round match now, so the winning post is 13 frames, and this is the first of 3 potential sessions in this match. Now, Mark Selby made 2 centuries in his opening match. That's his best break so far in this one, and we're going to rejoin them in frame 6. Selby trailing 5 points to 10.
Foul. Anthony McGill 4.
What a shot this could be. Unlucky, very unlucky. He played a cannon onto the reds to the left of the black. It's a very positive shot he played here, but just found the gap somehow.
Yellow ball. Anthony McGill 1.
He's left a choice of reds here for Anthony. One to the right middle. That looks, obviously can easily get on the black from that one. If he pots this red in the middle, even if he has to use a spider, all he just needs to do is pot the black, cannon the red that's to the left of the black, and he's got a red to the left corner. So it doesn't look too difficult a situation here.
1.
The red that's just below the black spot, he'll leave that to the left corner.
Eight. Nine.
Going to be a little bit careful here if he plays the cannon. I decided not to. Don't blame him, because that could have gone wrong. I mean, those two reds, one of them's available into the
60.
left corner, so if you can avoid having to play a little cannon, it's much better.
$17.
Well, this time he did play the little cannon, and he played it very well indeed. Was he 34 in front?
24. $25.
Not sure if that red, the
32.
two from the pink, is available into the pocket that he's potting this one.
33.
I think this one that's near the cushion is too tight on the cushion, and the other one, I think it's available. And then we'll find out after the next shot as to whether that red I mentioned, two from the pink,
40.
goes. Looks a bit tight. That's what he's thinking about now. He's just he's having a look to see if I don't think it will go. That's why he's just contemplating where to put the cue ball so that he can then play cannon.
.41.
Now the key shot coming up. If he cannons the red here, he wants to hit it half ball, not full ball. And he hit it a little bit fuller than he intended. Let's watch this.
48.
Yeah, 3/4 ball instead of half ball. It'll still cut back in though. And he's got a 58-point advantage. Any colour will do.
49.
Even the yellow's enough to leave Mark needing a snooker. So good response. He badly needed this frame because he'd lost 3 in a row and he didn't want Mark Selby
51.
to get on a run.
.52.
I'd like to play a cannon and get the cue ball just in the middle of these two reds. Just missed getting exactly in the middle. Still got a pot to the left corner. This will be a good shot because the black
59.
doesn't pot to the right corner now.
.60. .67. .68.
That's a terrific pink and it gives him a possible chance of a century, but this is a
74.
tricky red down the cushion. No. Caught the cushion, unlucky for the century, but more importantly, that break at 74 gets Anthony all square. It's 3 frames each.
Yes, he's a cool customer, this man from Glasgow, isn't he? Having lost the last 3 frames, he comes back with that break of 74. So, into the penultimate frame of this session we go.
This one. Yeah.
That's touching, so that's helped the situation. Got to make sure he covers that red, the right side of the table. What he'll be trying to do here is just roll this off the side cushion and land on the brown.
Yeah, I think I might have taken the chance of just putting the cue ball in the jaws of the green pocket there. Mark wasn't going to take the red on to the right corner and just force him into playing a safety shot that would open the reds up.
very awkward frame there. I mean, even if you could see that, he'd have to screw back for the blue, so there's no real value. The black's out of commission, as is the pink. So the pink's out of action. I don't know if it's available into the left middle pocket. What about that for a shot? Just showing us that he's got as much cue power as anybody. That's like a JT special that I started calling that, a Judd Trump special. All done with timing, that last shot. Not sure if he can pot this and develop the black. I mean, no way. Well, having said that, if he screws this back, he might get on the black.
5.
He's on the black, but another inch or so and it would have been absolutely perfect. But this will get the black back on its spot if he can roll it in. And what do you think, Stephen? Can he just drop this in and finish on the 2 reds that are just to the left there?
Yeah, it looks close to be a natural angle. That was a pretty well controlled shot he just played there. It'd be easy to stick the cue ball in the reds or screw back too far. So I think one positional shot here. That's a great chance. Just maybe a touch right hand side, just to avoid the reds. Yeah, you just put a little dab aside on. And a great opportunity. He'd love to get to 4. They're playing 8 frames, get to 4 before Selby, and gives him a chance to get a lead, at least going into the second session. And he knows the worst it could be would be 4-4. It's never nice when you're behind when 1 frame to go, because it puts more pressure on you.
30.
Try and get that last frame.
He's just played a poor shot there. I mean, he can still pot this and get up for the blue, but he wanted to stay
20
and keep it nice and simple around the black.
21.
No problem. There's 3 reds that are available into the left corner and the one that's near the right corner, so it's pretty straightforward. You can see it didn't matter if he finished short, it didn't matter if he ran a bit too far. There was 3 or even 4 reds he could have dropped on. That's when people say, how many shots ahead are you thinking? You know, you're never really thinking 4 or 5 shots ahead. It's like that last positional shot. You leave yourself options. I mean, he has 3 reds that he could have played into the left corner, and it just dropped a bit awkward, so he had this as an alternate.
27. 34. 35. 42. 43.
I think he felt that pink was just drifting towards the jaw of the middle pocket there. I think he was quite pleased when it did drop in.
49.
Just there he thought, oh, this is turning to the left a little. And he doesn't want something like that to happen at this stage. He's not that many pots away from securing this frame. And really, he's
50.
doing it again when the pressure's put on him. He seems to respond, because Mark Selby won 3 in a row with breaks of 51, 46, 65 and 87. Anthony responded with a break of 74 in the last frame to level, and now this. So there's no lack of
57.
bottle there from this young player.
No, this
58.
is good. As you say, 3 frames in a row, and this is probably the best snooker he's played so far this afternoon. He won this frame in one visit as well. Very impressive.
$65. 66. 73.
So
Extended rest.
now looks like Anthony McGill will, at the very least, be level going into the second session, and I'm sure he might have taken that if someone had offered him right before the start. First time in the second round against the world number 1.
Well, what a shame, no century. He almost did one in the previous frame.
Yes, second contribution in the 70s in succession. So can McGill finish the session in front here as we go into the 8th and final frame of the afternoon? Now, we did have a few gremlins with our graphics in this one, so you won't be able to see the scores, but don't worry, Dennis and Stephen will keep you right.
Well, an easy starter for Anthony here, as we show you Mark trying to swerve around the blue and didn't give it quite enough. But the pink's tied up, not a good angle to get on the black, so he's got to force it up for the blue. Oh, he's overscrewed that, so it'll be a change of plan again.
Bramble. Five.
I'd love to get a nice angle in the blue here. Cue ball somewhere up around the yellow area. I would come and be able to stun cue ball into the pack.
6.
Doesn't want to be hampered by the brown. No, that's perfect. So there's a line of 3 reds in the pink. It goes into the middle of that with the pace.
That's what Stephen mentioned there. Pop the blue and crash into the reds. Yeah, you could say crashed into the reds, and oh, how unlucky was that? How unfortunate is that?
Mark Selby 5.
Well, big smiles all around, but that really was unlucky. Look what he did with the reds. Now watch this here. It was all, the plants weren't going in, and then all of a sudden he gets a double kiss.
Thank you. 1.
We're all square in this final frame, 6 points each.
Well, he's going to play a lot of important frames in the defence of his title.
6.
This is certainly one of them. Wants to get that pink back in its spot as soon as possible, then the break will become so much easier.
Seven.
That's the scoreboard that the players
30.
can see in the arena. This is a terrific chance, but that's the annoying thing about this game. It was Anthony who did all the work and opened the reds up, and was very unfortunate to plant one in the pocket. And you go back to your seat and you watch your opponent pot all the balls that you would have been potting. It is the
19.
last frame, and he had every chance of opening up a 2-frame advantage.
$20.
You can see
26.
Scored again there. 31 points to Mark Selby, 6 to Anthony McGill.
$27.
And the perfect side of the blue again, so have to just do something careless to run out of position or miss a pot you would feel from this position.
$32. $33. $39. $40.
39 the difference now. So 3 easy reds available after the pink here. So every chance now we're going to be all
46.
square. And Anthony McGill, well, he'll be, if someone had said you'll be all square with the defending champion at the end of the first session, he would have taken it. But without that
47.
very unfortunate shot where he scattered the reds and one double kissed another into the pocket, these would have been his. Gratefully accepted by Mark Selby. There's still a little smile
53.
there. He's probably still thinking about that unlucky shot where he knocked the red in. But he certainly
54.
enjoyed this first session. Hang on a minute.
Mark Selby. 54.
Hang on just a minute. 53 the difference, 51 on the table. Well, you would think it would be 4 each. He wouldn't have come back to the table, Anthony, had that pink have gone in. There's the difference, as I said, 53 points with just 51 on the table. And really, he needs high-valued colours, and the pink and black are not on for him.
Okay. 1. Six.
47 the difference with 43 on the table. Now, can he get himself onto the black? It's not going to be easy. I mean, you've got to pot this red first. But if he can just drop the black in, he'll have a great chance of getting the snooker with the last red behind the black spot there. Now, if he just drops this in, he's not quite finished in this final frame. Well, every chance now of getting a good snooker.
14.
39 the difference, 35 on, one snooker to tie. Can he get it tight in behind the black?
McGill, 14.
Well, he's got the snooker, but he didn't want the red there. There's the score, 39 the difference. Well, maybe he is close enough to the black to prevent Mark from swerving around it. And he's going to have to come off 2 cushions. He's pretty good at this type of shot, but he's going to have to be very precise with it. But he's very good on the angles, is Mark Selby. He's having to swerve it to try and make that angle there. That's what he needs. And has he gone direct to it? He's hit the yellow.
Foul.
And all of a sudden, if that
Anthony McGill,
bounces...
4.
Wow. If that white had bounced a little bit further, he could have potted this red and got up for the black. Now there's no use potting the red. He might have to play this in such a way that he wobbles the red in the jaws of the pocket and sends it up the table and screws the white back along the cushion. Might not be a bad choice, that. Because he can tie at the moment, but he'd need a red and a black to do that. Now that's, if he can wobble that red in the jaws of the pocket and send it up the table without cannoning into the yellow, he could possibly get a snooker here, but he definitely doesn't want to pot this. Oh, he's played a delicate little one. That didn't look on, but he judged it well. How he avoided the double kiss there. I mean, that was such a tough shot. He could do with hitting this, because at the moment he can tie. Now there's a bit of a chance. If he pots this and gets himself onto the black, he could tie the scores and we could have a respotted black, but it's a tall order, but it's half a chance. Got into that too well. He got a bit too much screw on it, but it's a terrific pot right in the heart of the pocket. But this is a must pot on the black here.
He's got down, he forgot about the pink there. Good shot. This is great stuff from Anthony McGill, it really is.
Tell you what, Stephen, if he can get himself on the green here in such a way that he pots the yellow, he could bring that pink into play and still be on the brown. Mark knows that there's a possibility, and Anthony's looked at that shot. That's coming a bit too far. Can't do that now. So he's a little shake of the head there. He wanted to leave an angle to pot that and move the pink. Now he'll have to do it from the blue. You can see he's already 3 shots ahead. That's where he wants to put the white in a few shots time to get on the blue to then get to the difficult pink.
13.
So 22 behind, 22 on the table. Possibility of a respotted black. And that's
17.
just about, well, I was going to say perfectly. He'll have to stun it now. Well, he's thinking about leaving the double. Looks as if he's going to leave the double. What a shot this would be. The angle
22.
is there to double the pink and send the white around the table to get on the black. What a roar if this pink goes in. What a shot! What an absolute gem of a shot.
28.
I tell you what. Look at the smile on Anthony's face. Everybody's smiling in the Crucible Theatre here. But he's still got to pot the black to force a respot.
That's what I'm saying, he needs to get his concentration back. Oh, he's missed it. Oh dear.
Yeah, you said
McGill,
that he needed to get his
28.
concentration back after that unbelievable pink. And they're laughing away at the table, but the easiest of blacks for Mark Selby. He was very unlucky at the beginning of his frame, Anthony McGill. He planted a rail into the pocket and he opened them up, but Mark Selby took advantage. But in the end, the man from Glasgow nearly pinched it, but he'll be quite pleased. I suppose overall, Anthony will be delighted with 4 frames each.
I'm sure he will, but what a hugely enjoyable first session from these men, wasn't it? And the composure with which Anthony McGill went about his business was quite remarkable, Steve.
It was, but all undone at the end.
Indeed, yeah.
You know, like, it's a tough game, Snooker, because he's shown what a lot of the qualifiers have shown, bringing a decent standard to the table, but he had a chance there to have a 5-3 lead. And whilst for all of the smiling and the enjoyment, he'd be kicking himself.
Well, exactly, because Mark Selby there watched him make that wonderful break, and for all the world, after that pink, was it missing concentration?
I think Stephen hit it right, the nail on the head there, without a shadow of a doubt, with all the furore in the crowd and the smiling and the laughing, and just probably got a bit carried away, and you know, missed black, as Steve said, a missed opportunity as well, because it would have kept a bit of pressure, and an overnight lead of like 5-3 would have been very good. But what composure he's shown. I mean, he's very relaxed, he's enjoying himself, and it's good to see. There's no doubt about it.
We were chatting away before finishing that frame and saying that, is it a surprise that somebody like Anthony McGill is able just to turn up at the Crucible and look so composed and so in control of himself? Is this happening more and more with the qualifiers when they get to the Crucible now, Steve, or is this just Anthony?
No, it is. That the top players who are coming through now and challenging are battle-hardened, and it is absolutely no surprise whatsoever. It may be to the general public who may not have seen a player. They may go, oh, this is wonderful, this young lad's coming through. Yeah. He's had so much match practice in the last 2 or 3 years. He should be good enough, as should loads others of them. That's not to say this isn't a fantastic performance, because he's playing against Mark Selby, one of the greatest that's ever held a cue in recent years. But it is supposed to happen. It's the sort of way things go on. And at a certain age, you do become of age.
Indeed. And of course he's already a quarter-finalist in the UK Championship. He's been on our television screens, but I think he's proven, given by everybody tweeting and talking about him this afternoon, what a breath of fresh air he is.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's still smiling away. He's loving every minute of it, and that's what you should do. You've got to really enjoy it, enjoy the challenge. And I think the smiling and the interaction with the crowd, it sort of helps him relax, and good on him.
Absolutely.
Hope he keeps it going.
Well, I mentioned all the interaction with everybody at home. There's been plenty of that. We've got our Fans of the Day feature once again. Thank you very much for all of your tweets and your pictures. We've got Ben and Rachel Apps and their 2 sons. They've built Lego models of Steve, John Parrott, Stephen Hendry and Ken Doherty. They're lovely. Thank you very much. We've got Peter Rowe, Rocket in Flight, or in this case, on the sofa. We've got Dirk Cars, and we've got Leanne Hill, and the other quartet, we've got Tony Curtis as John Virgo. That's a bit of a mystery. Ken Jones's dog, no name. James Jago in the middle, and Laura Betty painting herself as a rocket. Absolutely beautiful. Well, that's the situation, and this evening we have a couple of matches. In fact, we've got one to finish off. It's Sean Murphy, 7-2 up on Robin Hull, and a very absorbing contest about to start in round 2. Ding Junhui getting set to face a resurgent John Higgins, and what the Chinese player would give for just one of John's 4 world titles.
Give me just one more night, just one more night, one more night, 'cause I can't wait forever. Give me just one more night, give me just one more night.
Here comes the Wizard of Wishaw, here comes John Higgins.
It's obviously tougher. You've got more fancied players that are at the top of their games, and it's probably their time to win World Championships. But no, I mean, I'm still here, I'm still enjoying it.
That's the best shot in the match so far, that one, without a doubt.
I was a little bit under pressure within myself, thinking I want to get down at least now try and win and get through and give myself another chance again, because I felt as if I've just not competed in the last 3 years. So I knew it was going to be a tough game. As I said after the match, I was quite happy I was drawn against Robert, because I knew how tough he was going to be. I've lost the last 4 times against him, and that was in the back of my mind a little bit, because when you've got a losing record against a player, it's not as easy to get out of your mind.
So John Higgins will be very pleased with his performance. He gets through to the second round, a comfortable winner.
I'll be playing down. He'll obviously be the favourite against me. He's obviously trying to win it for his first time, so he's got the pressure within himself to do that. But I felt really comfortable out there during my first game, and if I can feel like that, I'll enjoy it. I'll go out and try and play my best, and I know if I can do that, I'd be a match, I think, for anyone. He's one of the players that I've always said that if he had to go through his whole career and not be a world champion, it would be a travesty, I think, because I think all the snooker players realise how special a player he is. So I'm just hoping it's not going to be this year now, but I mean, if there was one guy that I would like to see win it in the future, is definitely Ding. He's a special player and he's a nice guy, so he'd be a player that I'd like to see win it in the future.
But maybe not this year. Now, there's nothing between them in matches so far. 8 wins apiece and 1 draw. The last time they met was in the quarterfinals at the China Open. It was Ding Junhui who won a final frame decider against John Higgins. How do you view this matchup today?
Very, very close to call. John Higgins, excuse me, has been one of the outside favourites, I think, for me. 4-time champion, loads of experience. Ding chasing his first. Was a bit shaky in the first, whereas John played really well, so I think it's going to go all the way.
For you, Steve?
Well, a year ago, you'd have said Ding Junhui would win it, but John Higgins back to form, and he's a course and distance winner. We know that Ding hasn't performed as well, so, you know, perhaps horses for courses.
Indeed, we shall find out. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your company. It's been great fun this afternoon, and thank you to you for all of your contributions and for keeping it light as well. Now, you can indeed watch every ball this evening via the red button and online of this evening's session. Otherwise, you'll have the company of Messrs Parrott and Davis for the highlights programme, a bite-sized version of Day 6. They'll be on parade 11:20 at a cinema or indeed a TV near you. Bye-bye for now.
They're back.
So what you're looking at here is a brand